Engage quantum drive.
Katie has trivia.
I do. And it's, a new episode. So I'm just like doing research on my phone after I notice things in the show. So I don't know. I'm kind of excited because I feel like this is like the fun facts that we're finding. And it just feels kind of neat to be doing that.
Yeah.
So the first one, which I thought was interesting, is Dr. Finn says, everything forbidden is sweet. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's just a very poignant line. And I wonder if there's any background in it. So that's in the scene where she's sharing a drink with Kelly. And speaking of idioms, it's an idiom from the Bible.
Oh.
And yeah, so it's when God told Adam to not have an apple. And then Satan was like, it's the best apple in the world. And then, you know the story. They ate the apple. They got kicked out. And I thought this was interesting because the show has krill in it. And I thought it was a parallel to how the krill have a holy book as well, the Ankana. And and it discussed demons in that episode. And Satan's like, hey, eat this apple. So I noticed that and I was like, oh, I think this is kind of like maybe foreshadowing a little bit. Or
I like that connection. That makes thematical sense to me.
So I just, I really liked that line and I didn't realize it's an actual idiom that people say. So
nice.
Yeah. In the scene where Ed Kelly and Admiral Christie are talking to Admiral Halsey, you can spot a model of the Wright Flyer, also known as the Kitty Hawk, which first sustained flight on December 17th, 1903, invented, obviously, and flown by the Orville brothers, Wilbur. Wait, was it Orville and Wilbur? Right.
Orville and Wilbur Wright.
Wait, I just realized, why did the Orville brother get to be the name of the ship? What happened to Wilbur? I mean, can you imagine the show called The Wilbur?
That's the sister ship, clearly.
There's got to be a Wilbur. Do you think there's a Wilbur in the fleet?
If there's not, there's a fan fiction on the way.
Yes. If you find a fan fiction, it's by me. But obviously, Orville and Wilbur Wright kind of pioneered the era of aviation. So definitely a name to the name of the spaceship, the Orville. So I thought it was neat because they didn't have to put a little, Wright Flyer in the corner, but I noticed it and I was like,
so nice.
Yeah, the details. I have to talk about this. There's the pep talk Ed gives on the bridge before they enter the expanse. He is quoted saying, "May the force be with you." So now we know Star Wars is canon in the universe.
Heck yeah. They've actually mentioned Yoda before too. So
yeah, I just felt like this was another confirmation.
Yep.
And I know there's controversy about Star Treks in this universe as well. But yeah, so he does give a pep talk where he says, "May the force be with you." In the credits, one actor who is playing an alien is credited as an arachnid alien, which confirms, I think, that the aliens have a spider-like heritage. They also look like spiders.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But I thought it was interesting because I'm like combing the credits and I just saw that it said arachnid alien and I was like, hey, so I think that there's some sort of spider heritage to that alien species.
Yeah, I was hoping we were going to get a name for him, but I don't think there's any to be found, especially when the credits just say arachnid alien.
I do feel like there will be more of them in the future. I just have a feeling because at the end, what he says.
I can see that too, for
yeah.
sure.
Brandon Braga has said that this episode was inspired in part by asking the question, what are the krill afraid of? Which is actually a very interesting discussion to start. And I personally love that we're learning more about the krill in this episode, even though they're not fully in the whole episode, but we learn about the background, a little bit about this part of space and what they're afraid of, which these aliens are pretty scary when you break
terrifying.
It down. Yeah. So I just thought it was interesting that what inspired this episode was asking the question, what are the krill afraid of?
I love that.
There's also some guest stars in this episode, notably James Reed, who played Admiral Christie, and he has an extensive list of credits. He starred in many soap operas like Days of Our Lives and General Hospital. He was in Charmed, where he played Victor Bennett, and it's the original Charmed, not the reboot.
Yes.
He's also in Legally Blonde as Elle's father.
Yeah.
He has a guest spot on Star Trek Voyager and a miniseries that seems very popular entitled North and South, which I have not watched, but I'm intrigued by. And then as I was looking stuff up about him on Twitter, Seth MacFarlane gave a shout out to James for being on the show. And James replied, "Thanks, Seth. Amazed at all you do and all you do so well. Working on the Orville New Horizon was an absolute gas. If I can't ride a horse, put me on a starship."
Heck yeah.
I just like that.
Couple things with the Star Trek connection. So for Voyager fans, if they're wondering what exactly he played, there was a 7th season 2-parter called Workforce, and he played I might pronounce it wrong here because I haven't watched this episode in a long time, called Jaffin. And then in that movie North and South you mentioned, he has a brother in that movie who is played by Jonathan Frakes.
Oh, there's like sometimes when I look up guest stars, it just unlocks all this other stuff I want to watch now. And that makes me really want to watch North and South. It looks like it's a mini series, and I think it's based on a book. I need to confirm that, but I
yeah, I didn't go too deep on the origin of it.
But I definitely think that's on my list of to watch now, especially, I love Jonathan Frakes. So there's another actor, John Fleck, who played one of the Krill ambassadors at the beginning of the episode. And he has been credited to many films and television, notably True Blood, Weeds, Star Trek Enterprise, and Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Nice.
Yeah. Simon Templeton, who I believe played the other Krill ambassador, has a very interesting voice acting career and has been in very popular video games like Mass Effect, Uncharted, Dead Space, and was on the TV show Just Shoot Me.
I've definitely heard that name. I wouldn't be able to place the face, especially based on all the Krill makeup, but yeah, I've heard the name for sure.
Both John Fleck and Simon Templeton, they had an extensive list of credits on Internet Movie Database, so they've done a lot of work over the years. And then last but not least, Nurse Park is back. And that
Nurse Park.
Old Nurse Park, who's played by Gavin Lee. And it begs this question at the end of this episode. Did he survive meeting the arachnid alien since we never saw what happened to him? And I just really hope, I'm rooting for Nurse Park.
I am too.
Because it was nice to see
unlikely,
him.
But
yeah. So yeah, that's the guest stars and fun facts for this episode.